Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another post-game live stream podcast thing of the Missing Links. This is the Missing Links. Normally, I start with that. I don't know why I'm going off script and off kilter tonight, but I'm Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage, and today we have Kinga Taylor again, back-to-back episodes. How's it going, Kinga?
I am great. I was just thinking how if you can just take the audio from the last time that I was here on Saturday and just put it into this, I think I'm going to be as coherent and just in awe of what this team is doing as I was on Saturday.
I mean, Jude probably sums up this entire podcast of this Minnesota team is kind of good. They're going to be the number one offense, number one defense, number one in net, number one true shooting by tomorrow. I mean, just realistically, like they're going to pass Dallas tonight, which again, I feel like it's just a broken record at this point, but a 24-point win over Dallas, who is like third in all of the power rankings, has been playing really good, the best offense in the league. And the Lynx they looked light years away from the Lynx, right?
Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous a little bit coming into this game because the Wings have just been rolling and beating really great teams. And then the game starts. And I got a little scared because I'm also a Timberwolves fan. And when you are up 30 and then Page starts like hitting 3 back-to-back threes, you're like, ooh. We are going to, and I also saw the playoffs last season. So I was like, okay, are we going to lose this game after we were up by almost 30? And then it turns out that we are just a very professional team that handles business.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably, as I've been kind of thinking about it over the last couple of weeks of just like they're up 20 going into the half and they win by 24. I think the closest the Wings got it was like 14, and then it just kind of snowballed after that. And I mean, they are just from last year to this year. I mean, there was so many games where it was like a 2-point game in the third quarter, and then the Lynx would kind of just step on the gas and pull away. Like this year, it is just dominance from like the second the whistle blows, the horn goes until the end of the game. It's just dominance, which is insane.
It is insane. And like, now I'm like, okay, let's see what they're going to do, what they can do against the Aces, right? Or what they're going to do against the Liberty, because now they are the only like big bads left out there that we haven't seen yet, because this is the second time that we've seen this Dallas team. So
yeah, I mean, second time, and it kind of went the same way, where it was just
kind of went the same way.
I mean, people are bringing up Lan in the chat. I mean, we can talk about that.
I was going to bring it up also. So I saw that comment, and thank you for bringing it up this early, because, okay, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Cook. The floor is yours.
There is part of me that wishes that we're going to hear that she has some sort of injury. Like, I feel bad of how much I enjoy dunking on Lan. And I could never do it in real life. So I'm just going to do it in this space. And now, like, I was walking out and I knew that I was going to come here. And I'm like, maybe, like, what if she's injured? And that's why she's playing 8 minutes. Because the fact that a max contract player is playing 8 minutes and is not even coming in when the white flag is up, I have not seen, like, I don't know what is happening. Like, at this point, I hope that she is injured and she is because otherwise, this is just a monumental, like, airball by the Dallas organization. Because how are you playing a max contract player 8 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, just talking to Dallas people that were in town today, it sounds like other than the broken nose, there's nothing really wrong with her, which, you know,
And
things
we
can
see
always come out like later of like, oh, she had like back spasms or something. But like, I can't remember who brought it up as I was scrolling through the comments before I caught up with them now, because I didn't put everyone on chat, because you guys are having a lovely conversation before we started this show. I appreciate the community that we got here. But someone had mentioned of just like Dallas not being the right team for Lan. Like, I kind of agree with that. I think if Lan decided to go to Golden State, maybe it's a different conversation. If she decided to go to like Seattle and she's playing next to like a Malunga or a Fam, like I just, Dallas is just not good defensively, and Lan, I think, is a really good defender when her team is has a good defense, but I think we're seeing that she can't just like carry that load. And then you look at like her offensive performance.
We kind of knew that here, and yeah, because I'm like
yeah, I mean, you look at her offense this year, her offense has also been struggling. So it's like, if you're going 0 for 2 on the offensive end and you brick a layup, I guess kind of why have her out there? You know what I mean? Which is, I think that's probably what the Wings are really struggling with, is like, if she's not bringing great defense and she's not hitting shots, like, kind of what are we doing here? Which, it's awful she's in that position. I mean, I would assume maybe she gets traded by the deadline if it's really this, you know what I mean? Like, if it's really, there's no injury, like they kind of have to just move the contract for assets, right?
But like, and we've talked about this earlier in the season, and when this all went down, I mean, when she started playing this poorly, who wants to pick up that contract? And this was my whole thing with Dallas from when they made these big moves and threw this much money at players. My first question was, what if nobody picks up Lan's? Because, you know, like the Wolves have a similar issue, but like, who's going to pick up Lan when she's playing 8 minutes? She's a max contract. She has like a max 3-year contract. It's not even like, it's an expiring contract. And it's done after this year. Like, someone would need to have an immense trust and belief in their coaching and team ability to turn this around, to make a 3-year, $3.65 million work. Like, nobody is going to pick up that contract. Nobody is going to do it.
No. And that's again, like the teams you look at that would be really good for her. Like, again, like I honestly think the Valkyries, just how they play defense, like Lan would fit in there. Obviously, like the Lynx, she'd fit in here, but the Lynx don't have money. You know, someone mentioned Truckin mentioned Portland, or no, Eddie mentioned Portland, like the Fire have it. John mentioned the Mercury has a lot of money. Like, I don't know how well those fits are. Like the Mercury, maybe, like if you're not having to give up much, but still, that's like such a, at this point, if you're Dallas and like you're just out on her, you're probably having to attach like a pick to get her out of town, which is insane. Like, that's just an insane thing to say a quarter of the way through the season.
They could have just taken Jess for $1 million and then called it a day. And Jess is really, but it's like they moved her out of she wasn't great when she was in the starting lineup, and then they move her out of the starting lineup and replace her with Maddie, I guess, and who else is out? Kind of. And AZ. And now she's not even coming in with the bench. And I feel like, yes, you're a co-defensive player of the year, and like playing with like the end of the bench, that's kind of optically bad. But I'm like, optically, it's also bad that like she only plays 8 minutes. So I'm like,
I would argue optically, not a lot of things have been good, which,
no,
you know, like players and coaches always talk, like if you're healthy enough to suit up, like there shouldn't be an excuse, right? Like, I think as humans, we're a little bit like more of, but like, you know, we just saw like Ant play on no legs and Fee play on one ankle. Like, obviously there's kind of an excuse, but like, if you're suiting up for 9 minutes in the first half and then you're not getting looked to again in the second half, despite like nothing coming out on injury wise, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I hope it gets better as you know, a couple people in the chat have mentioned, like Lan is a really smart player. Like I really do. Godfrey mentions Lan's a really good player. Like I really do think it will hopefully turn around, but like again, a quarter of the way in through the season, like, you know, Dallas is 7-4. If they're looking at what they have to do to get better this season, like the post defense, they're the worst post defense team league. They allow the most points in the paint in the league so far this season. That's the obvious, like, we need to get better in the post. And what's your trade chip to do that? It's at this point Lan, which again is just to be this early in the season and have, like you mentioned, the co-defensive player of the year kind of in the spot where she's almost unplayable. That's just a massive miss for Dallas, because you think, like, what if they use that money on Gabby Williams instead? Like, this team's probably way better.
Right. Yeah. And things like this commenter said, like Godfrey says, like, yes, things can get better, but if she's not in the starting lineup and she's not getting runs, like, something must be happening in, like, during whatchamacallit,
well, this is my conspiracy theory is, and first off, I want to shout out Josh, because he brings up that if they go off of minutes, they've paid Lan $3,000 $3,156 per minute, which is insane. Like, go get your bag, Lan. Like, I'm so happy she got paid, because she is like it's really nice, like, talking to her again today at their shoot around, of just like, she is such a good person that it's like you hate to see good people not perform well. Jess, for that matter, too, like, just delightful. But like, it's just tough. Again, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what Dallas does, because it's not like they have a ton of time to figure it out. They probably have another like 15 games before they kind of just are who they are.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, though, is, like, this is me reading into something. I do not cover the Dallas Wings. I am not on the Dallas Wings beat. And outside of, like, the 2 games that they have played, I think I have watched 3 additional Dallas Wings games this year, so I am not an expert. I felt like it was touching, or it is telling that, like, this or people having other agendas, or whatever the exact words he said was. And really the only change has been Lan is on the bench now. And, like, I think that's weird. I don't know if it's Lan was someone that wanted to be more involved in the offense and she wasn't getting the involvement and going rogue or something. Like, that doesn't seem like Lan. But again, like, he makes that statement, and then the only thing that has kind of changed since then is Lan's minutes are getting less, AZ's minutes are getting more.
And Odyssey is out of the starting lineup too. So I think the only 2 changes is that Odyssey is out of the starting lineup and that Lan is out of the starting lineup. Because those are the 2 changes that they made, right? They pulled those 2 out of the starting lineup and replaced them with AZ and
Seagrist. And, like, those things are just, you know what I mean? Like, I take note of that, of, like, it's just weird. Like, obviously Jess is playing better, and Maddie, I guess, is playing better, if you want to call it that. I don't think she's really playing that much better, but it's just something I noticed from afar, and am kind of filing that away, of, like, if Lan does get traded by the deadline, there I feel like there's probably more stuff going on than just she wasn't performing well. Like, you don't give up on a max that fast. I do want to throw us over to a quick ad read, though. When we come back, I do want to catch up on chat, because people are talking about Natasha Howard. She had some awesome comments after the game. And also, just, we should probably talk about Olivia Miles, who is yet again just an incredible game. But first, ads. Well, hello. Thank you, live stream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. pencehomes.com. Been a while since that cut off. Nate Pence in the chat here as well. Appreciate you, Nate, for being in here. But Godfrey mentions just the last couple things on Alanna Smith of just like she's only 11 games into her contract. Like it is way too early.
It is, but it's kind of like
weird.
It's jarring, and I do think it's one of those things that like if this is. Like, if they don't have confidence that she can at least get back to playing, like, 25 minutes and be, like, a key rotation player, you kind of have to make the deal this year. Because if she falls out for the rest of the season, then, like, who's going to trade for a player that doesn't play any minutes and is making a max contract, which that's the other part.
That's the biggest part.
Katie brings up, crazy thought is Dallas trading land for AT. Could be, like, Phoenix is really bad, and AT doesn't have a ton of time left. So I could see that certainly happening. It would make sense. It's just unfortunate a little bit. Todd brings up real quick. Can we talk about Antonio's block and steal on the inbound that led to a Kosu layup? Yeah, like that was awesome. I
have been on Tony Dallaire watch for a couple of games now because she is sneakily getting better and better every game. And she's not like one of those like flashy players, like she's no like Olivia Miles, but she's like sneaky good. And I have been noticing because she was one of those players when we started, like the season started, like she wasn't really having a lot of confidence. She kind of seemed like lost out there a little bit, but she is like low-key becoming like sneaky good. So it was awesome having her for her to get that steal on that inbounds pass.
Tony is going to be she might be my like litmus test on if the person I'm talking to is actually watching Lynx games. Because if you just look at her box score, 13 minutes, 2 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound. That's it. And like honestly, she was awesome tonight. Like she might have been
awesome.
It's crazy to say that she's still probably like the 7th best player in this game because everyone was kind of awesome. But like she's always in the right spot. People seem to just kind of like settle the F down when she's in the game. Like when she subs in for K-Mac or Court, like people don't kind of like freak out and like overcompensate to like make up for it. I asked Cheryl about it after the game too, and Cheryl just kind of like, drove home the point that like she's played for the Belgian national team and like won European championships and has played in Turkey and has been like a professional she's 31. So for like 15, 16 years, she's been a professional basketball player. So like, of course she's going to be fine, but like that might be my litmus test this year is just like if somebody's bashing someone, I'll just be like, what do you think of Tony? And then if it's not praise, I'll just kind of be like, okay, you're not watching the game.
You're not watching the Lynx. And also, like, I think she did an awesome job guarding Paige once K-Mac went out. And we do need to talk about K-Mac also because people were being crazy on Twitter last game, and people need to put more respect on K-Mac's name because what she did on Paige today was extraordinary. Like the defense that she's playing is incredible. So anyway, finishing up with Tony, like Tony did an amazing job on Paige once came back after, you know, broken nose, not broken nose, broken lip, definitely all banged up, catching a breath. Not
I can confirm she didn't break her nose, but she definitely had a bloody nose and like cracked her lip open, which, man, yeah. I mean, you mentioned the defensive stuff. She's been awesome all season. Like,
yeah,
this defense isn't, she's been taking the toughest assignment every game. And like, I mean, Paige had 5 turnovers tonight. Like, that's not Paige. Like, 30 minutes, 5 turnovers. That's not a Paige thing. She did kind of get her shot falling, but.
And Paige didn't start scoring until the end of the second quarter. Like, I can't remember.
She had like 9 in 40 seconds. All threes at the end of the second. That was.
Yes, but before that, I think she had 7 points. Like 7 points or like a quarter and a half. Like,
yeah.
Paige is a fantastic player. Like, K-Mac did, like, she was chasing her and was glued to her hip, and Paige could not get any separation. And like, that's you want one of the best players in the league not to like go off on you. That's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah. I mean, the other side of it is I have a piece coming out later this week of just like the gravity K-Mac's been kind of getting, which is like a new term that I feel like in the WNBA it's being used for everyone, but like K-Mac is being treated like she's the best player in the WNBA, which I asked Cheryl about it after the game, or someone asked Cheryl about it after the game, and she was just kind of like, I think a lot of teams coming into this season thought like, oh, if you take K-Mac out, how is this Lynx team going to score? And it turns out they're going to score by everyone else being really good at basketball. But like, you know, it is one of those things where like teams are still. Tonight was the first night where I felt like a team didn't cover her as close, and she goes 7 for 10, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, like looks
4
awesome.
Threes.
4 threes.
She is 6 threes away from being number 5 in the all-time scores. 3-point.
Which, again, that's K-Mac kind of mentioned it. She was joking about it of like this offense just being like a buffet line, and that's honestly kind of how it is. Like they came into this game with more of like a conscious effort. The Wings, it looked like, anyways. I didn't talk to Jose Fernandez about it, obviously, but like from my vantage point, it looked like they were saying, okay, we're going to play a little bit more off K-Mac to help out in the paint, and we're going to not double her off of all of these off ball screens. And then K-Mac hits that breakaway 3, hits another 3, like just gets more involved, has a couple assists. And then it was like at halftime, Dallas was like, okay, well, we can't do that anymore. This isn't working at all. And then as soon as that adjustment's made, then it's like Liv and Tosh start taking it over again, which it's just, I don't know what you do at this point with this team.
And Courtney is automatic. Like I haven't looked at like where like her shooting has been like this year, like in comparison to the league, but she has been just, it's like hailing out there of like, I think she didn't start missing shots until the second half. Like in the first half, she missed 1 shot. She was, I think, 6 of 7.
She was at 1.6 of 7 from mid-range.
Yeah.
Like that's just like, again, it's like, okay, we're going to take away the paint. And then it's just like K-Mac heats up and Court hits every mid-ranger possible. And then you have to adjust. And then it goes back to like just a pick and roll layup line, which, I mean, Tosh kind of made the quote of the night after the game of just one of us asked her just, you know, Cheryl mentioned that the game plan against this team was to attack them in the paint because they're not a very good paint defense team. And Tosh just, in the most soft-spoken way possible, I'm bringing up the quote, says, it feels good playing a team that doesn't really protect the paint. Olivia Miles then just like snort laughs. And then Tosh goes, it is, though. I give credit to our guards. Give me those easy looks and stuff. I wouldn't be able to score a blah, 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 right? But like, I mean, honestly, like
the paint opens up and then it's a layup line. And then if you try to take the paint back away, I mean, Nia Coffey arguably should have had another like 6 points too from just missed shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the sample size just keeps getting bigger and bigger that this team offensively, even without Fee, is just really hard to figure out, right?
Because there's so many options, right? And I think like it is the Olivia Miles factor, because she does make everybody better and she opens up the parts of the sea for everyone. And I feel this is, maybe I'm just like projecting, but like, has everybody's passing become better? Like, I see like K-Mac's little passes and I was like, has this always been like this? Or is everybody just like passing better because Olivia Miles is such a fantastic passer? And yes, it might be projection, but I'm going with it.
I mean, it feels like it. What's weird is the advanced stats actually show this team is more of like an isolation team than it's been in the past. But I think that's because Liv is getting like 4 or 5 of those just like dart to the rim layups, or like the up and under layups, which if you're making 5 of those just early in the shot clock, obviously like your assist percentage and stuff like that aren't going to be as high. But it does feel like everyone on this team can pass and they can catch. Like Natasha Howard, one of the most pleasant things about her that I've noticed is she never misses. Like, she catches everything, which again, cover the Wolves as well. And watching Rudy Gobert fumble basketballs is very frustrating.
Well,
and then you just watch Natasha Howard just magnet everything in. And it's like, all right, apparently people can do this.
Exactly. I had the friend who I go to games with. He's like, why can't the Wolves do this? And I'm like, because Rudy wouldn't be able to catch that pass. Although, like, if we're talking about catching balls, I don't think that Tira McCowan can necessarily catch a basketball. But
yeah, she there's been some tough ones with her, but I think in a perfect world, she's not playing on this team very much. Reigning Hen brings up, why isn't K-Mac's defensive rating better? She's so good. I think a lot of it is she's just guarding the best player on the other team, and Cheryl's usually matching their minutes together. So like, you know, Olivia or Courtney will get a break when Paige is still out on the court, but like K-Mac never gets that break. It is every second that the best player on the other team is out there. So it just kind of like artificially gets kind of wonky, but I would assume by the end of the season, it'll be probably among the top 3 or 4 on the Lynx, just because, you know, again, even like tonight, like I think when Paige hit those 9 points off of threes at the end of the second, like I think Courtney was on the bench, or maybe it was Coffee that was on the bench. Someone was on the bench. So like their defensive rating is significantly better because they didn't give up 9 threes in 30 seconds or 9 points off of threes, which again, like it all equals out over the long run. But I mean, K-Mac has just been awesome. Before we get into Liv, because I do want to touch on her before we get out of here, just the other really fun bright spot is Kosu's been awesome. Like,
she has been
the last 3 games, she's been incredible.
Incredible. And like, she's just like a bowling ball out there. And I mean that in like the best way possible. Like, she is strong and imposing and just does not give up on anything. So yeah, she's been a great improvement from last year, and I think she's being way stronger, way more like kind of like a dog with a bone, and just not letting go of like defense, offense, anything.
I also talked to her yesterday about like playing with a broken nose, because that's still just insane to me. Like, athletes have a level of toughness that I just don't have. If I've said it before, if I break any bone or cartilage in my body at a game, I am going home, and you're not getting a post game live. Like, I'm sorry, I'm dedicated to this, but like, I couldn't do that. Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, Ola snaps her nose to the side, puts a random mask they found in the back rooms on, and checks back into the game. But like, she is just so tough. Like I every game I'm just enamored by, like, she can just move bodies. She's just banging people. Like, it looks like it physically hurts to play against her.
Yeah. And she's
I
much
can't.
stronger this year than last year. Like
Absolutely.
she was definitely hitting the gym.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And the crazy thing that, like, Rebecca Brunson reminded us today is she's the youngest player on the team. So like she's still like 3 years away from being Olivia Miles's age, which I don't know. The more she's getting minutes, the more I'm just kind of like looking at her of just like, oh, that's like the next level of thinking, right? Like 3.5 years from now, Kosu is going to be at that like 24, 25 range, like entering, like being what actual rookies' ages are.
Right.
And they're just going to have this other crazy athletic physical big that, embarrassment of riches, I guess, is the point to all of this.
And we came into the season being like, oh, we don't have as much as other teams. And here we are talking about, and we have Ola. And Tony Dallaire is low-key awesome. And, like, Maya Caldwell, she's, like, vibing out there. Like, let's go. Like, we have
that's the... I'm looking at this. I'm just looking at the depth chart right now. And like, let's say Emma never gets hurt and Fee and Dorka come back. Like, their 12th player is either Tony or Tierra McCowan. Like, that's insane. Like, I don't know how they, I mean, I do know how they did it. It's just Cheryl's really good at identifying talent, and you have Hall of Famers developing every position group in practice. But like, man, the jump from Ola so far this season it has been awesome. Like, that's another thing where it's just like, I mean, she could be starting in a couple of years, which again is crazy.
Yeah, easily. She could easily. Someone in the chat is like, how does Cheryl keep doing this? I don't know.
I mean, when they drafted Ola Kosu, every single one of us in that writer's room, whether it was Terry, whether it was Kent, me, and everyone that was there was like frantically trying to Google to see who the heck this person was, because they were expected to be like a 3rd round pick, if that. And Cheryl, like, on draft night was just like, she's really, really strong. She's really, really fast. We talked to her and she wants to be great. And it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Checks out. And here we are, like a year and change later, and it's like everything that they liked about her is just significantly better, which, it's been remarkable. Imagine if Masha was here. It would just be all vibes this year.
And like, if Emma doesn't get injured, like Emma, like, they need to protect her. Like, hopefully they don't need to make any moves so they can keep her on the rosters so that she is back next year, because she is also going to be someone special.
I mean, DeMarc brings it up in the chat here of just like giving up on finding language to express the insane job she's done. I mean, she brings in...
I don't think I heard that good of an English. Good English.
I mean, she brings in Court, Lan, T, and makes a Maisha Hines-Allen trade and trades Angel Reese, the Angel Reese pick in 2024. And they just like all-star break to the end of the season, are the best team in basketball and are awesome. With like Olivia Apupa playing key minutes for this team. And then last year, it's like power of friendship, best team in the league all year. Again, I can literally bring up every stat from last year of why they were one of the best teams in the history of the league. 9 players leave, and she's just like, all right, bet I'll bring in some Europeans and some like castaways, and we're going to be as good, if not significantly better. Like, again, it's really hard to try and figure out like how she's able to do this, other than like she just has a very good way of figuring out people that are going to just first off, Mark, it's been 0 streams since Andrews brought up Olivia Poo, but she was delightful. I'm sorry. But it's just she talked about it in practice earlier this week of just like, you know, identifying people that are going to fit the culture and people that are going to like fit in with what they build here, and then not deviating away from that ever again, because she's made some mistakes, which I mean, people can like guess of like who those mistakes were. But I honestly think that's what it is she just has these like character traits that she goes after, which maybe that's the secret sauce, is just make sure they're really good people.
Maybe it is. And I listened to The Ringer right after the first Dallas game, and they were talking about Cheryl, like, and specifically bringing in Nia Coffey, of like, what other team would have Nia Coffey had this big of a role and been this impactful? And Cheryl just knew. She just knew of like, I can get this out of Nia Coffey. And I think like she's going to be probably the leader of the second unit once he gets back.
I mean, no doubt. Like it, and again, like I remember like in training camp, just talking to her about like, you know, when you're evaluating these people, like, is it just like you see proof of concept points of like, oh, with LA, she shot 40% from 3. Oh, the first year in Dallas, she was a good defender. Like, and kind of go from there. And she's like, kind of like, it's more about like, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the exact quote up. But it was more of just like, she's just able to see these roles that people would succeed in. And if they have like a proof of concept season where they kind of show that they can do that stuff, then it's plug and play these players into these roles that she just sees for them, which is, again, it's a really interesting way of coaching, especially with like how much her offense changes from year to year with personnel. That I mean, she doesn't get enough credit, and she's probably winning coach of the year this year and having 2 out of the last 3, and it's still not enough credits.
No, absolutely not. If she doesn't win coach of the year, I think that it's just, I'm going down the rabbit hole that it's rigged. Because again, like one of the biggest topics of conversation was the Minnesota Lynx, of like, oh, they didn't do anything in free agency. It was like us and Phoenix, and like, look where we are compared to Phoenix. So there's like, she has to win coach of the year.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I felt pretty strongly. I don't vote on awards. I felt pretty strongly last year, like she should have won it, just from like, she went from losing in the finals and not having like the losing slump, which most teams that lose in the finals kind of go into a slump the next season. She went from losing in the finals to having one of the best seasons in the history of the league. Like, I don't know. That's like, you can't like penalize someone for like consistent standards of excellence. I think she ended up getting 1 vote for coach of the year. I mean, this year, if it goes to like Portland or something for being like the 6th seed, I think that's wild. Like,
yeah,
what she's done this year is kind of unexplainable. Even like with the Liv pick, which we'll get into that quick here. I mean, identifying that she's that type of talent and then having like the trust to completely hand the keys over to her before the season even started is like a wild coaching decision.
It is. And like, you know, much like the other coach that we always talk about, people talk about Cheryl as not playing rookies or not playing young players, and this just goes back that we don't know anything about coaching, and we don't see what they are seeing every day in practice. And I'm a firm believer that, like, I trust Cheryl enough that if she's not playing a young player or a rookie, there's a very good reason why they are not getting runs, because there were players that people super advocated that they should have big minutes on this Lynx team, and I don't know if they are in the league right now. So
she has a pretty good track record. Like the Alyssa Peely pick, which people were bringing up earlier in the chat.
That's
that's the miss, right? And like I do think everything I've learned about Alyssa and kind of her journey, she fits the culture. Like she is a really big like pillar in like the Samoan Native American community. She did a ton of work when she was in USC in Utah. She continued that work when she came up here. She's a very like driven person. I mean, she chose not to play overseas and stayed in Minnesota for an entire winter. And I'm going to be honest, I saw her more at the Target Center practice facility than most of the Wolves players who were supposed to be at practice. Like, I mean, she was awesome. I think it's just unfortunately she's an undersized power forward that doesn't have really good movement. And I think when you see that in practice every day, guarding like Fee or Lan or Dorka the first year, Jess the second year, like I think you just kind of look at it of like, oh, okay, this isn't going to work. And I do think there is something to Cheryl's credit of like knowing when to get off of players, like even the Diamond Miller kind of experience last year, like at some point Cheryl must have kind of been like, all right, this just isn't going to work. Let's see what we can get for an asset, which that's a skill too, because some GMs will stick with their players until they get fired.
And Cheryl has a long and prosperous track record, and she drafted Olivia Miles, and she gave her the keys, and here we are. Because
24 points on 10 shots. I don't know what to say about it at this point. Of like, she is in her 12th game and she is having better efficiency than like anyone in the league all of a sudden, which is insane.
So I went back and forth of like if I wanted to be messy on TikTok or not, and I am not going to be messy on TikTok because like my messiness comes with like everybody's talking about Olivia Miles, right? And we can't have those conversations like, oh, nobody's talking about Olivia Miles, because everybody's talking about Olivia Miles. Mm-hmm. But my messiness is, are we not talking about her in like a bigger scale than we are compared to some other players that have been talked about as the second coming of the most important player? Like, I think we can talk about her, should talk about her.
I'm sold.
And I think like the conversations aren't big enough about her, of like what she is showing.
I'm out of adjectives. I'm out of descriptors. I'm completely sold. Like what she is doing is like Hall of Fame level stuff. Like even Cheryl mentioned like teams are scheming against her now. Like they try and prepare her the best that they can, but like Liv is just figuring it out on the fly. Like what happens when she comes back and plays these team again? Like everything, what happens when Fee comes back? Like literally everything about her season. I said it a few podcasts ago to like when I was talking to Sloan Martin on this pod, of just like, this is the worst Olivia Miles is probably ever going to be. And she is first in the league in win shares and like breaking every record that Caitlin Clark set 2 years ago for rookies. Exactly. Like it's to the point where it's like, I didn't even feel this good like watching Ant his rookie year. Like, Liv makes next to zero mistakes. Most of her mistakes are her being like too arrogant and like trying to get like a pass somewhere that is literally impossible. And like, I'm fine with her making arrogant mistakes. Like those are fun, especially when they're winning. But like,
And
I don't know when the national media will catch up. I feel like they're starting to. Like Noah Dahl's out coming on the pod tomorrow, and she has Liv's like second in her MVP power rankings. But like honestly, like she's it. She's it. They get another one.
So and you are a better basketball mind than I am, because as I keep saying, I am a fan. But I saw this video on TikTok where this creator was saying how like Olivia always goes right and nobody is pushing her left. And I tried watching for it today, and she does always go right, and nobody is forcing her left. Like, we're 10 games in, and creators on TikTok are like, hey, she always goes right. And they are not even trying to like force her to go left. Like, she's unmovable. Like, everything, like it's not just that she has control and like sets up her own players, but I think she is orchestrating and tilting and forcing the opposing team. So the entire court is doing whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she's dictating the pace. Like she does everything that like when you talk about like a Hall of Fame point guard, whether it's like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, who I understand like she wasn't whatever you want to consider her, a point guard or just a guard, but like she was the hub of the offense and like Hall of Famer. On the NBA side, like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, like she just has this ability to like dictate everybody's movements. And like part of the reason they don't send her left a ton is like Cheryl just schemes it. Like she has the screen come from a certain way. And if they send her left and send help from that way, like K-Mac's open. And then it's like, all right, you're sending Liv left and she's not getting the layups, but now K-Mac's getting like wide open threes. Like part of it is like, I think there are moves that coaches can make. Like they still haven't been doubling her as much off of pick and rolls as I thought they would have by now. But then at the same time, you see Liv make these like ridiculous, like one-handed windmill passes to the far corner. And it's like, well, I guess why would you double them? She's just going to do that to you. And like that effectively is worse anyways. So it's crazy because, you know, I remember when we asked her like who she modeled her game off of, she mentioned Luka. And like, it's looking really Luka-y now that she's hitting threes.
Yeah. And like once like her three becomes even better.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Find out the route to get to the parade. Okay. Like I need the route to get to the parade, because like that's what like, and if he gets back, like that's what we should be talking about. And the fact that like she and the national media needs to talk about her in a bigger way than they are right now, because I think we're there.
I mean, I think she's going to wreck the league. Like I'm kind of to that point. Like again, the thing I keep going, the two things I've been going back to the last week or so is just like Fee is coming back at some point, and everything is easier when Fee is back. Like everything is easier. And then again, like every game Liv looks better, which a couple of people did bring up that she did hit a layup on the other side. She also had like one of those wraparound layups tonight with the left hand. Like, I don't think she's like a TJ Shannon where like she can't.
No. I don't
with her left hand. I just think like they do, like Cheryl does do such a good job scheming up her offense to like put defenses in really difficult spots, right? Where it's like, okay, if we double Liv, either Coffee or K-Mac is open in the far corner because the Lynx are just going to rotate the ball around and take advantage of it. And it's kind of the same thing of like, well, if we send her left, then it's like opens up a different range of problems, I'm sure, which again, I'm just kind of at the point where I'm just speechless over it. I mean, she's an all WNBA guard already. Rookie of the year's. I mean, that's wrapped if she plays like this. And then now she's getting weird coverages and she's still just eviscerating them. Like it's just the processing speed alone is just insane.
It's incredible. It's incredible of what she can do, and like she dictates the tempo of every, and like and Fee hasn't been in a game. Like
yeah,
we like that again. We talked about the banner, and the banner I see that it's not up, but Fee has not entered the game, and
Fee is gonna come back with some feist, I think. I don't think this is going to be Fee comes back and it's just like ho hum, Fee is back and she's like the 13th best player in the league. Like, what do you think Fee's been doing all summer? Or all winter and into the summer? Like, she's been like getting shots up and working on her game without using her ankles. So like, there's a possibility where Fee comes back and she's a significantly better shooter. And like, this is the first time in, I mean, last year she was playing injured between like the back spasms. The year before it was plantar fasciitis. I mean, last year towards the end of the year, it was the ankle injuries. Like, this is going to be the first time she's been like healthy in 2 years too. Like, she's going to come back and just, I think be unreal and trying to remind people of like, oh, you guys forgot about me.
Yeah.
She's also the most selfless person on the team. If there's a hierarchy of selflessness, like she might be up there. So like her coming back might be like taking 9 shots a game and averaging 30 points somehow. Like it's gonna be wild. We'll close with this because we're at that 50-minute mark, which is longer than I thought we would go tonight, because I just figured we'd be sitting here doing the Chris Farley, like, do you guys remember when but like Truckin just asks thoughts on Tierra McGowan. I'll be honest, Jude stole my answer. She's large. That's kind of my thoughts. Like I think, you know, if they match up against a team that has another 6'4", 6'5" post player, like you now have McGowan that can go out there and get fouls. Seems like a good rebounder. She's super funny, so I'm sure she's well liked on the team. You know, get a former third overall pick in there that has like a good sense of humor and is really big. Like, worst case scenario, that's not a bad worst case scenario. If it ends up working out and she becomes like a better version, then hey, that's awesome. But I don't know, what have your thoughts been so far?
It's an interesting experience. Watching her, I think she's like much slower than everybody else on the
Mm-hmm.
And we're back.
Oh, there you are. I would agree. She does seem much slower. She's just so big. Like, that's just, they haven't had a player like that. And, you know, Nikki brings up, like, with Dorka back, she won't see the floor. Like, completely agree. Like, when Dorka's back, Tierra's probably the 12th player on the floor. But, you know, again,
it's an option.
Big body. It's an option. Another thing you can shift to. And it's not like she's going to just be like sitting on the bench, not doing anything. She's like, Rebecca Brunson is the bigs coach. Like, that's kind of the like, again, with the embarrassment of riches is like, if you're a backup point guard or a backup shooting guard, like you have Lindsay Whalen. If you're a backup big, you have Rebecca Brunson. McCarville's on this team, who also manages the scout team and the developmental players. And then like Eric Teevel's, you know, pretty good coach in his own right. And then Cheryl's there as well. So like, even if she doesn't play a minute all season, I would just kind of bank on her having a really good year next year. Right.
Yeah. If it happens anywhere, it's going to happen here. So
yeah, just, you know, it's gonna be fine. It's, again, if you would have told me like before the season, before you, like even before training camp, if you would have been like, the Lynx are 10-2, Olivia Miles is like one of the 3 best players in women's basketball, and Tierra McGowan is the worst player on the Lynx bench, I'd be like, what happened? Like, did they get Asia? Like, what happened?
I mean, I'm speechless. There's like you. I don't know what adjectives to use. I don't know what words to use in general to explain this experience, but none of us were thinking. And my husband sometimes is a negative Nancy, and he's like, the Bulls were first for the first whatever, but it doesn't feel like a fluke. Like, this works. We're not the Chicago Bulls, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
because I hear that from like fans and stuff too, of like the very, very cautious optimism of being a Minnesota sports fan. And it's like, it's not like they've lucked into the best record and like their advanced stats are bad. And it's like their plus minus average, like their average victory is like 4. And they're just like, you know, eking these games out at the end, kind of like the Vikings when they had like all the 1-score games a couple of years ago, and people were like, oh, it's a fraud contender. Like, the Lynx have 5 wins of over 20. Like, they're blowing teams out. The Wings are like the 3rd best team in the league, and they just lost by 24 with Lan and Jeth returning home. Like, I don't. If you don't think this is a contender, I don't know. This is
it's not a fluke. We are not the current Chicago Bulls who were on top of the East for a hot second there at the beginning of the season.
The one thing I will close on this is just like I remember Liv after their second loss was like talking about how she was like kind of not like unconsolable, but like really upset after the loss. And like K-Mac and Court kind of took her to the side and they're like, hey, this isn't college. Like, you're going to have losses, kind of yada, yada, yada. And Liv, like the next time we talked to her, was like, yeah, they were telling me, you know, this isn't college. You're not going to just, you know, you're going to lose more than like 6 or 7 games in a season. And I'm like looking at their record now and I'm like, they might not lose 6 or 7 games this season. Like, this might just like Court and K-Mac might have just like lied to her because like this team is that good. Which, Raheem, I'll take your advice. I'll apologize to Olivia Miles for saying she wouldn't get drafted here. AZ Fudd, by the way, the player I thought would get drafted here, 2 for 12, 6 points, -15, 2 turnovers, 3 fouls. Woof.
And if we're not, Pat Rizzelli said that Liv said we are never losing again. And if that happens, I think we just need to like plop her into different like Minnesota franchises.
Yeah. She could probably figure out hockey. She's from the Northeast.
Like, I don't know football, but like put some padding on her and just like put her out there. Like, they have masks and stuff. Like, nobody can tell that she's not one of the Vikings.
Right.
Again, the Wolves need a point guard. There you go. Solved.
At this point, like, I'm going to be honest, that passing would translate. Like, if she wanted to do full-time NBA, WNBA, and be like the first, like, that passing would translate. She can play soccer.
I don't like. She seems to have a pretty good footwork. We can put her in any Minnesota sports. She can solve all the Minnesota sports. If we don't lose more than 6 games this season, we are just plopping her in to different Minnesota sports teams. And I think that could work.
That's special. Kinga, where can people find you if they haven't followed you yet? And thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's a blast, as always. People can find me on TikTok at KingaBee.
So easy. It's so easy when you just have like one name that translate. I'm so glad I got on the A Duke MN before anyone else did. It just makes everything so easy. If you joined into this late and you want to catch it tonight before bed, this does get posted up on Buzzer BZZR, their sports app, as soon as we end record. Also will be up on X and YouTube as soon as we're done here. If you can wait until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., it'll come out on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast. I also wanted to give out a shout out to
I don't know their name who developed it, but I got sent this app that I should download, and it is not a sponsor, so this is just me being polite, but it's called the Bet on Her app. Literally, it's just like Bleacher Report for only female sports, and it's awesome. Like the top thing where you choose your teams and it has like updates is called the T and your T. Love that. And it has like literally articles from all of like women's sports writers from like Zone Coverage, SI, ESPN, USA Network, all linked in there. Podcasts, like, don't know who invented that app, but like, man, A+ idea by them. So shout out to them. We will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. Noah Dalzell is joining to just kind of fan over the Lynx again, because I that's all I want to do right now, to be honest. But Kinga, thank you for doing this. Everyone that hung out, appreciate you guys as well.
Thank you so much for
and
having
we'll catch you tomorrow morning.